It's Tuesday the 29th of September 2020 and I'm at Erith to do a walk along the London Loop long distance footpath. Weather's not been too great this morning, but hopefully it should improve. Now at Erith Riverside Gardens and the start of the London Loop. Now in Erith to do another walk along the London Loop, and this is where the London Loop starts in the guidebook, but of course I've walked other sections of it which are posted on my channel. Once again, thank you for watching, please subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this walk. Let's hope the weather does improve. Now looking at the River Thames, and on the other side is where I was walking London Loop a few weeks ago to its other end at Purfleet. We now have to come away from the river and walk along Erith High Street. As you can see, we're on London Loop, and that Thames Path sign, I don't think this is part of the official Thames Path, which starts at the Thames barrier further towards London. But anyway, we're now back beside the river and we head along here. We now have to walk for half a mile along this busy main road, which is called Manor Road. We eventually turned left off the busy road down this driveway. A plethora of long distance footpath signs. We're also following the Cray Riverway now, and we're now on a path along an embankment. From the embankment there are some decent views. This is over to the right. There's the path, and that's looking over towards the River Thames. Excellent view looking back along the Thames. Now at Crayford Ness, seems to be a scrap place over there. The path is sunken between these low walls and the River Thames over there. We're now at the confluence of the River Darent with the River Thames, so we have to bear right to follow the Darent. Ahead is the Queen Elizabeth II Bridge, opened around 1991, and it carries the M25 across the Thames, and over there is Purfleet in Essex, which is the other end of the London Loop, and I walked that part of the London Loop a few weeks ago. And there's a video of it on my channel, of course. Now following the Darent, that looks like some sort of flood barrier. And there's an information board about the flood barrier. Coming up to a bend in the river, and apparently the Darent forms the boundary between Greater London, where I am, and Kent, which is on the opposite bank. And there you can see the clear path continuing. Magnificent view of the river. The light is interesting at the moment as well. Another large bend in the river. This is the Darent River. More walkers just passed by. At this fork, the right-hand way leads to Slade Green Station, but London Loop continues beside the Darent along here. The path by the river is now much narrower. Interesting flowers by the river. There's the path continuing. And there's a great view looking back towards the flood barrier we passed some time ago. There is the confluence of the River Cray with the Darent. So we now bear right to follow the Cray. Definitely a walk if you like rivers. And there's the path continuing. Here's London Loop following the River Cray. The path is quite a way away from the river. A nice bindweed flower by the River Cray. I hope you've watched my bindweed flowers of Aldermaston video. A fairly rare view of the Cray along this stretch. We're about to go beneath that railway bridge. As you can see, the path has now gone away from the River Cray. We're in an industrial area again. It reminds me of Manor Road earlier on, remember that? After some horrific main road walking, we finally leave the road by turning right down here, and we're beside the Cray again. London Loop now follows this very pleasant path beside the River Cray. There's the River Cray again. We've now got sunshine and I'm walking straight into the sun. Confirmation, we're on London Loop and we're now about to follow the footpath known as Iron Mill Lane down there, and the River Cray is now on our left. Continuing along the pleasant Iron Mill Lane. Next we head along this tarmac path right beside the River Cray, as you can see on the left. Now in Crayford. We're on our way out of Crayford now, along this path. Now in Hall Place Park, relief from the main roads. On the other side of the field in the last clip, we bear right along this path, beside the River Cray once again. Great view of the River Cray, and London Loop continues into that field. We are still in the same park, Hall Place Park. Now crossing the River Cray on a footbridge. Now heading along this clear path beside a hedge. There's a railway line in the distance. And there comes a train, you can see over there. London Loop has now turned sharp to right, still following the hedge, which also turned right, of course, and the railway line is now just over to the left. We're heading towards the A2 main road. We now need to climb these steps to the main A2 road. Deep joy walking along the A2. The walk beside the A2 is mercifully short. We now take this sloping path away from the road. London Loop goes beneath the A2, beside the railway line. Next we turn right along this path in Churchill Wood. Continuing to head through Churchill Wood. We now turn right down here heading for Bexley Station and the end of today's walk. Now at Manor Road in Old Bexley, yes, the second Manor Road of today. And the opposite there is St Mary the Virgin Church, Old Bexley. Now in Bexley High Street, and London Loop continues down there, Tanyard Lane, but I'm going to head for the station because this is going to be the end of today's walk. Now at Bexley Station, and that's the end of today's walk along the London Loop. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe. Thank you.